Hi everyone and welcome to Stamp with Angela. I'm Angela Palmer and I'm looking forward to sharing with you today. Today I'm going to be making some cards that use the Elegant Borders dies, and I'm also using the Cheerful Daisies stamp set and dies as well. So I've got some great cards to show you, and you'll get to see some different ways of using these stamps and dies. So I appreciate you taking the time today to join me, whether you're watching me live here on Facebook, you are watching the live later, or you're watching this video on YouTube. So thank you for joining me. If you've got any questions as I'm going through, please comment. I'll do my best to answer as we go, or otherwise I will answer later on as well. So if you're just coming in, today I'm going to be using the Elegant Border dies, and I'm also going to be using the Cheerful Daisies stamp set and dies as well. If you joined with me last week, I made a card that featured these Cheerful Daisies as well. So I'm going to show you a different way of using it today, and different colours and things too. So it's quite versatile. I'm having lots of fun with it, and I still actually haven't used it to its full potential. So it's a great set to be able to use. So let's get started. I will turn my camera around and I'll show you what we're using and the creations, and we will do some stamping and crafting together. And just remember, if you do have any questions and things, please ask and I'll do my best to answer as we're going, or I'll answer later on too. So here we have the Cheerful Daisies stamp set and the dies that coordinate with that as well. And the other thing that I'm going to use today is the Elegant Borders. So these are the Elegant Borders, whoops, dimensional bit as well. There are 4 of those. So the Cheerful Daisies is something that you will see in the Annual Catalogue, and it's part of a suite where there's paper that coordinates and other things as well, embellishments and things. But if you look in the catalogue, you won't see the Elegant dies. So they are what we call online exclusive. So they were introduced a couple of months ago, and they are only shown in the online store, but you can purchase them any way that you normally would, online yourself or through your demonstrator, through me. They're available for purchase. All right, so the other thing I'm going to use today is this stamp set here, Biggest Wish, with one of the thanks stamps as well. All right, so I'll quickly just show you what I did last week in case you missed it. So it was this card here. I love the Moody Mauve, and it's with Wild Wheat, which are both new colours. And I've used the Fresh as a Daisy paper to go with that, and layered it up and put a sentiment on it as well. So it's lots of stamping, and then just one here that I have die cut out. All right, so let's have a look at these wonderful dies. Well, we're coming from various areas. We've got someone from Auckland, someone from Napier, someone from Invercargill. So it's great to see lots of you from all sorts of different places. Okay, so this is the first card I made. So this uses the Elegant dies. I'll leave them here. So it's this one here. And I've used the Moody Mauve again. Moody Mauve. I'll get it right. And yeah, so cut that out first and then did some stamping. So I've used Garden Green and then Moody Mauve and some Bubble Bath in the middle and kind of layered it up. And I'll give you some tips so you can learn from my mistakes. Don't know if you can spot them or not, but I'll tell you as we create. And then I did this one here, which is another die, which is that more rounded one, this one here, which is quite cool too. But you'll see I did the flower in a different way. And then I've done Old Olive. So we're going to make a card using kind of those 2 techniques, but I'm going to do a different colour because last time I did the Moody Mauve. So today I thought we would use, it is, do you know what colour it is? It is Pretty Peacock. So this is the colour we had a while ago that has come back. So yeah, quite nice. So the same kind of thing as this first one. I've got an outline and then stamping inside with Pool Party and then the leaves. And then the other one is the final die, and I'll show you them all in a minute. So it's a little bit simpler and there's a bit more room. So it's this one here. So I've put 2 flowers on because there are a couple of different options in the stamp set and things. And again, so you'll see this one's got an outline, this one hasn't. So these are the 2 that we're going to make today. And I'll give you some tips on the stems so you get it right, unlike me the first time. But hopefully you don't notice too much, but I'm sure once I point it out, you will. Alrighty. So I've got my card bases. So that's the pretty peacock. And then I have just got a standard piece. So you'll see that I'll do this one first. A little border around it. So it's 10 centimeters by 14.3. And then we're going to cut the die. So all I'm going to do is get it the right way around. So that's the cutting one like that. So I'm going to line it up and put it through my machine, and then it will look like so. Okay, so I've pre-done this just to save time, but we will do another little bit of die cutting later, and then you have got this ready to go. Then we're going to do some stamping. Now I am going to bring in my piercing mat because being photopolymer, yeah, the sponginess helps. Right, what do we need? So let's do the stems. Now, this is how not to do it. See, I've got that little bit there. The stem really should have gone the other way. It should have gone like that, and I had it upside down. So that's not what we want to do. So let's get it up the right way, and we'll kind of do it in the middle near the bottom like so. And I can't quite decide how many leaves we should do. You'll see I've got 4 there, 2 there. I guess odd numbers are kind of good. Maybe we'll go for 3 or something. So we'll do 1 there, 1 there, and maybe 1 sort of lower down. Maybe you can tell me what you think are good numbers. Often they say odd numbers are good, but I was just sort of having a play around. Okay, so while we've got this out, we'll do our sentiment 2. So I'm doing this one. So we're going to use another sentiment that is part of that set, and we're not going to use the green, we're going to use the pretty peacock, because then that coordinates, oh, it's a bit stiff, coordinates with the card base. All right, pressure's on, trying to get it straight while on camera. Okay, often I'll put sentiments at the bottom. Well, that's good, but obviously we've got lots happening with the leaves, so that's why I'm putting it at the top, and I don't want my flower too high up. So doing it a bit different. Okay, so for the flower, I'm just going to get a scrap piece of paper and stamp, and then we're going to die cut it. So we're going to use that same pretty peacock. We're going to use the outline stamp. And can you see me? Do I need to move up a bit? We'll just stamp it at the bottom. Like so. Now, do you know what color I've used on the inside? So it's a lighter blue. Any guesses? It is Pool Party. So I need to find my outline stamp. And what you need to do is just kind of put it over the top and then just move it around till it lines up. So you might want to have a look. That one's a bit more pointy, so find your pointy one on there, line it up and put it down. Just give it a moment for the ink to absorb into the paper. I could stamp straight on there like I did last week, but this time I've decided to stamp on and cut it out. So I'm using the wild wheat for that too. So let's just do that over here. Okay, so then I'm going to get my dies, and I've got a little bit of, what do you call it? Removable tape to help hold it in place. So again, we've got to figure out which way it goes. So they're a bit smaller there, they're a bit smaller there, she says, but dum-de-dum, just keep moving it around. Usually this is easy, and because the pressure is on, there we go, on camera, it's a bit harder. All right, so line that up like that. We've got to cut that one out with our little die as well, but I have actually prepared one of those earlier. So I'll move my ink out the way, and I'm going to just quickly bring up my little one so it doesn't take up too much room. And we'll put that, oh, you know what? It's not going to fit through. It's a bit too wide. So I'm going to trim it. I forgot about that. Which probably means it's going to go through my, cut through my inner, but that's okay. We're not going to use that one anyway. So yeah, if you're using the mini, just make sure the card is the right size. Okay, so put that in. So with these plates, make the bottom one stick out, the middle one back a little bit, and then put that one over the top. So it kind of makes sort of an E, capital E shape, and then that should go through. So I let it grip, and then grab it and put it through. Look at that, beautiful. I'll need that piece of cardstock for some more stamping soon. Okay, and then what I've done is I have put that on with dimensionals. I put that on with dimensionals too. And then added some bling. So the butterflies are great. I thought it worked well with the flowers. So that. And where's it hiding? This one here. Another dimensional. So that looks quite cool, just raised up. Then for my butterflies. So it's actually quite a simple card. I mean, we've got some die cutting, obviously, but not too difficult. Oh, maybe we'll put two on this side just to be different. How's that? All right, now if you look on my card, I did actually stamp the inside too. So if we find another white piece, we can do that process again. So just to remind you, so it's the outline stamp first, then we're coming in with Pool Party, line it up, hold it above, down we go, press. I like to make sure I press right in the middle because some people hold it like that. But I press in the middle, then it's, particularly when it's a solid stamp, then it gives a nice even coverage. This time we will stamp in the middle using my mild wheat. Bit of a gap there, I can sort of, there we go, a bit darker, fill it in. Okay, now let's put it together. So crease my card with my bone folder. And get my glue. Let's just, that is very dark now. If I don't like it, I could always cut one out, put it over the top. Let's glue that in. So you don't need too much glue, just a nice thin line around the edge. Now with this one, I haven't worried too much about this being loose. But if you don't like it loose, I would put this on a silicone mat and then I would just sponge it. And then it will get a bit of glue on it. And I'm just going to poke out a couple of bits that haven't come out. So when I cut it, I did use this to help push out any bits. And you can also do the same on the back of the die. Just run it over to push. And you might have to push out the last couple of ones. So that ones too. So this is the Take Your Pick tool with the die brush attachment on it. Okay, so let's put a nice thin layer of glue and glue it down. So like the dies, whoops, it's an elegant, there goes my glue, an elegant card, but simple and nice. All right. So the stamping of that flower is like what I did last week with the two layers, and we've cut it out. Obviously different colours, and we've presented it in a different way because we've stamped the stems and leaves, and then of course we've added that beautiful border. So for my second card today, where's my sample gone? It's hiding underneath. Here we go. For my second card, we're going to stamp the flowers a little bit different. So with this one here, it is quite a thin die. So I did find I had, where's a blank piece? I did find that I needed to put a couple of pieces of tape on it because it would tend to move a bit. So line it up, tape it down, put it through. So you'll see this is quite a bit wider than what the other card was. All right, so you're wondering how I got that effect. Let's have a go. We'll put our mat down. Now I do need to clean my stamp because I'm going to use a different colour. So we're not using this one at all. We are just going to use the solid one. This one here. Now before we used it with Pool Party, now we're going to use it with Pretty Peacock. So I'm just going to clean it. I'll just show you. I assume a lot of people know, but maybe not. I'm going to use my stamping scrub, spray in some of the stamping mist, and then wipe it, and then clean it on that side. Obviously it's usually on the table, but just so I can show you. Right, now I'm going to show you a couple of things. Now I'm going to have to remember to make this nice and thin, because if I stamp this as it is, oops, just make sure it's got an even coverage on it, you will see it is very dark. Okay, completely different to that. I do not want it that dark. So what I'm going to do is stamp it off, but just stamp it off lightly. Just going to grab a scrap piece of paper. I'm going to bring in it. We could use that, but for what I want. So make sure it's an even covering. I'm just going to lightly press, and I don't think that's even because of the mat underneath. And then I'm going to stamp again. And you will see that, you know, some areas are a bit darker, some are a bit lighter. And that's kind of the effect I want. So let's just do one more again, just to have another try, because I didn't quite have it on the center of the thing. So you can kind of see some bits darker, some bits lighter. So have a play around until it's like how you want it. But we also need to do the little one. So I've just realized I need another piece. So we'll do that one too. Same thing applies. So we are going to ink it up, stamp it, and then stamp it. And it's got, you know, some nice darker, lighter kind of shading. And then there's also a little center one, but I've prepared these earlier, so I don't need to fiddle and cut them out. There's a little one, and then of course our bigger one. Put that in the corner. All right. And while we're stamping, I did stamp inside the card. So let's do that while we've got all our inks out. Same technique. So bring that scrap piece of paper back, bring my stamp over. Is it even coverage? Yep. I'm going to stamp it on there. I'm not going to press down as much as I normally would, just sort of a quick down and up, and then this one I will hold longer. I like the different sort of colourings there, and while we've got this out, I always seem to close my wild wheat pad. We're going to put one of those in the centre. Just one layer this time, not two. Okay, so that's going to go inside the card. So we need to cut out that and one of those. So I'll get my little machine out and move the other cards out the way. And then we just need to stamp our stems and things. I will show you other ways of using the set too. So we need that die for the little one and the other one we had before. Okay. So again, we need, what do we need? That, this one in. Oops, we're zooming in and out a bit there. This one hasn't got any tape on it. Let's grab some tape on the die. And I don't know how I'll move this out of the way because I think we finished with that. You can see what I'm doing. Okay, so I'm just going to line it up. So this little machine is quite useful because it's nice and portable and it's good for narrow things. It wouldn't work for the borders because the piece of cardstock is wider than that. So it won't work for that, but it's good for cutting things out. All right, then we're going to do this one too. Let's do this one here. Tape it down, hold it, top plate. So, whoops, it's moved. So pull that one back, that one over the top. So I like to push it in and kind of make sure it engages. Start it going, and then hold it at the top. And away I go. All right. Let's have a look at those. So you can see how quite different it is by, stamping it solid or stamping off, as we call it. Okay. Right, I've got a little box here with my bits and pieces in, and I'm going to put my dies in there because earlier I put one of my dies down. It took me a little while to find it. So if I put it in there, then it will be easy to find later. Okay, so what do we need? We need our card base. We do need our mat. We do need to stamp our leaves. Okay, so where is the border piece? If I don't, here it is. Okay, so I did this earlier. I showed you how to do it. We're going to stamp thanks at the top because I do like to have quite a few thank you cards. So we're going to do that in the pretty peacock. There is something on there which we don't want. Very slightly angled, but hopefully you won't notice too much. Okay, going for our old olive. We'll get our stem up the right way, this way. Now we want to make sure we have enough, so we want this one kind of about here, this one kind of down here. So we'll put them there to kind of guess, and then just moving it. So we're just going to go a bit lower like so, and then this one basically to the left and as low as we can go, like the full length of it. Beautiful. Let's do those leaves. Let's go with 1, 2. We'll do 3 on these. I think just 2 on this one because it's shorter, but we'll do it a bit lower. Cool. All right. Now, sticking it together. So we're going to put that on there. This one is nice and easy to glue because there's not all the holy bits at the side, I guess you could call it. Thank you for those of you that are sticking with me and watching to the end. All right, there we are. So now we need our dimensionals again. So let's put this little flower on down the bottom. I think we just need 1 in the middle, really, like so. And probably 2 on this one. 1, 2. I want that a bit higher up, sort of about there. Beautiful. All right, in my little box, I've got these. I'm actually going to put my dimensional on there. Then I can just lift it, put it into place, and I'm going to put a little one. Actually, what did I decide? No, this one in the end I glued straight on. I just felt because it was so little, lifting it up just seemed a little bit too high. So we're actually going to glue that one straight on. I'm going to use the putty end of that to pick that up and then just put it where I want it because it's a little bit fiddly. I think that looks okay. And then we'll put this one, I don't know, kind of like so. So what do we need to finish it off? Do you know? We need our butterflies. So we've got a bigger hole on this side, so we're going to definitely put 2 over here. 1. Oops, it stuck to me. 2. Oops. And I might put 1 a bit higher up by the thanks over here this time. There we go. And then we've just got to put our inside piece in. So it looks very elegant with the dies on the side. So if you haven't seen those before, remember they're not in the catalogue, they're only in the online store. Whoops, get bonus dimensionals too. All right, so there you go. So let me recap what we've got today, and then I've got some other things to show you with this set too. So we have the outline one that we did first, which is here. So that's the first one we did, and there it is in the Moody Mauve as well. Okay. Then we did the second card, which is like, oh, and that one is a different border too. This one here, and we've done stamping it off, and then the one in mauve like that. This one I didn't stamp off, I did it full strength. And I do have a little one that is stamped off, so you could see the difference. So that's what it would be like if it was lighter, which is actually very nice too. And then that's what it is full strength. But when you saw the, I'm not sure where my, oh, this one, here it is. That one is obviously darker, which, you know, that works too. Whatever you like works well. Okay, so they are kind of our 4 cards. So the 4 different borders, which are really nice. I hope you like those. So I'm going to show you a couple of other things with this set too. So on Tuesday I had coffee and cards. So we did a very simple, I don't take my die cutting machine and all that kind of thing, keep it nice and simple. We do a note card. So this is the card we made. There I go again, sticking to my Moody Mauve. So we did the outline and then the inside with the bubble bath and a bit of background. And then this is the lemon lolly colour in the middle. So a bit more of a yellower, which is quite nice. Then in the weekend, we had a team event shoebox swap where we each take along a card and everyone makes it. So I made the card that we did last week in our Facebook Live. And then this is what someone else did. Leslie did this and she cased it off someone else and I cannot remember who it is. So my apologies to the person that created it. If I can figure it out, I'll post later. So this uses the dies. So I haven't even, I've cut out the stamped flowers, but we haven't even kind of laid up the dies. So I thought I would quickly show you that because there's a lot of potential and possibilities with this as well. And I can't actually find the dies, but I've cut some bit out. Where did I put it? Okay, anyway, so there's 3 layers to this. So you've got one that will be a solid one. So in this case, I've done it in this. And then you've got a big one, which is the next layer, which is gone walkies. Oh, here it is, found it. So it's actually a few together. So that sits when you line it up over there. And then there's a kind of finer one that goes in the middle, and that's laid up. So let me show you what I mean. So that's our background one. And then this is going to go over the top, but you've got to get it around the right way and line it up. So like that, yes. So can you see that? There's a bit of colouring behind, and then that. And then this one kind of sits in. Again, you've got to line it, oh there, like that, is it? No, where are we? So those 2 shorter ones go there, I think. Because it's not stuck on, it is moving a bit, but kind of that sort of effect. So that's what we've got here. So this is just white, which you can't really see the layers quite so well. That's why I've used the 2 different colours to show you. And then we've spun some yellow in the middle so you can see that. So there's dies that go under and over those 2 flowers, and then you've got the leaves. We cut the leaves off and then stamped and put other leaves behind it as well. So you've got all these dies that I haven't even used yet. You've got this, you can even cut out the stems and leaves and other things, and there's even like a little label there for some of the sentiments. So there's still lots of possibilities, and I haven't, you know, shown all of it to you yet, but I hope you find that interesting and inspiring. So I don't know if you can tell, but I've put this on, I photocopied it when I get it so I know where they go, and then I've put a magnetic sheet behind, and then they don't fall off. All right, so before we finish, a couple of other quick things to let you know about. Some specials and things that are happening at the moment. If you're liking the designer series paper, which I didn't actually use it all today, there is a designer series paper sale. So there's certain papers most of the kind of general range ones in the annual catalogue, you get 15% off for this month. So if you've seen some papers you like, now's a great time to get them. And then the other offer that's on at the moment is a starter kit. So if you've ever wondered about becoming a demonstrator, it's always a good deal to sign up because it costs you $189 and you usually get to $85 worth of product. You choose what you want: stamps, ink, stamping, cut and emboss machine, up to $285. But in June you get even more. It's a starter kit plus. You get $333 worth of items. So you get like an extra $44. So you could like choose an extra stamp set or whatever. So you can choose whatever you like: stamp sets, paper snips, punches, whatever. You can make it up depending on what you've already got. Now you might be thinking, oh, I don't want to do what I do. I don't want to do what you do, meaning me, Facebook Lives and classes and all that kind of thing. You don't need to if you don't want to. You can make it work for you. And there's lots of other great benefits of joining too. It's, the community that you're part of. Like I said, in the weekend, I went to a team gathering where we made these cards and we, taught each other. So there's that kind of thing. I enjoy teaching classes and meeting others. So if you want to, you can. There's events run by Stamping Up where you meet other demonstrators, and that might be local or further afield. Obviously there's, the perks of joining up. You get to pre-order, get things a bit earlier. It's a little bit cheaper, and that kind of thing too. And obviously the starter kit is great value. So there's lots of benefits, and there's more than that. I joined initially just because I wanted to buy the product and just do a class once a week and build up my supplies. Well, I can say I've definitely built up my supplies. I've got lots of things, and I've only got that through what I've earned, but through selling and things. So it's lots of fun. I've got demonstrators all over New Zealand, from like Invercargill all the way up north. I know we can't meet in person as easily, but we do have a Facebook group, Zoom, all that kind of thing. So we can connect in other ways. And then hopefully one day there will be a chance where we can actually meet in person and do things together too. So it's lots of fun. And I've met lots of people through Stamping Up and, had opportunities that I would never have had otherwise. So I'm grateful to be part of Stamping Up. And if you just want to be a customer, awesome, that's fine. Stay a customer. But if you want to join up, I'd love for you to join my team. Excellent. Right, so let me just show you again what we made today, show you those wonderful border dies. And if you are interested in purchasing, whoops, it's the same one again. If you're interested in purchasing the dies or the stamp set or anything else, and you just want to stay a customer, great, you can order through me. If you like these things and you're thinking about joining up, you can do so online, or you can ask me some questions, and if you decide to, great. If you decide maybe not, that's fine too. No worries at all. So there you go. So these beautiful dies, so they've actually been around for a while, but I never got around to using them before. But I wanted to share them with you. And then obviously using the Cheerful Daisies stamp set and dies, which is something newer from the annual catalogue. And if you don't have an annual catalogue and you'd like one and you don't have a demonstrator, then please get in contact with me and I would be happy to send you this catalogue. Yes, so if you've got any questions. And lastly, if you're not on my mailing list, I send out information about promotions, free exclusive tutorials, things that aren't done here, tips and things. So go to stampwithangela.co.nz/free tutorial. And you can sign up. You get a free tutorial when you sign up, and then you'll be kept up to date. All right, I've done lots of talking today, but hopefully you've learnt some things and been inspired by these cards, these dies, these stamps. So thank you so much, and I look forward to sharing with you again soon. Bye for now.